Hello friends, welcome back to ARS Recaps. Today, I am going to explain the Korean movie called The Gangster, the Cop and the Devil. I'm glad you could join us for this one, spoilers ahead. The movie begins with a white car driving around a bright city. Two cars are following each other when the white car bumps into the back of the black under a bridge. The drivers both get out of their vehicles and the black car driver takes pictures for evidence. Then, the driver of the white car bashes the other driver over the head, puts him into the back seat and stabs him to death. The mysterious killers get back in the white car and drives away. On the 5th of August, a hot summer day, two cops are caught up in a traffic jam. They are listening to the radio about the murder that happened in the first scene. Since traffic is not moving, one of them, Tae-suk, steps down of the vehicle and walks to a gambling facility. The security tries to stop him by bribing him. They put a pile of money in his pocket, but Tae-suk doesn't like that and beats them up slightly. He then proceeds to arrest a guy who works behind a counter. The accusation is illegal exchange of money. Meanwhile, a mafia boss, Dong-soo, is practicing on a punching bag. Some of his men walk in the room and tell him about the incident. Dong-soo first orders for the punching bag to be put down. His men lower the punching bag and unzip it. A man has been trapped in it and he is all bloodied and beaten up. Dong-soo then exits the building and gets into a car. He has a driver, of course, and the two other cars following him like a convoy. He calls someone in the police department and complains about the cop who bursts into his gambling facility. He is paying money to this police director to keep his men from doing such things and annoy him. Tae-suk makes the guy he arrested drive his motorcycle and give him a ride to a crime scene. Tae-suk handcuffs him on the motorcycle and approaches the scene. In the background, the guy can be seen turning his motorbike around in order to escape. Tae-suk approaches the scene and it seems like the police had stumbled upon the man who was murdered. Tae-suk examines the scene alongside with his partner. He finds a clue that probably somebody bumped on his car from the back. Dong-soo speaks with Jung Tae-suk, another gangster as it seems, and they talk about respecting their territories and their duties. They mostly disagree and their two bodyguards, one for each, get mixed in the verbal disagreement. Dong-soo gets up and punches his bodyguard, while he removes two teeth from the other bodyguard's mouth with his bare hands. He says they should not speak when the bosses are speaking. Needless to say, Jung Tae-suk has been so intimidated that he can't disagree with anything else. At the police station, a group of men is having a meeting and they are analyzing the victim's life. He has no debts and no enemies. Then they try to build a profile around the killer. Tae-suk suggests that he must be a serial killer because there have been two more killings where a knife of the same length has been used. The other men disagree with Tae-suk, while at the same time the director picks on him because he crushed the gambling facility without having the jurisdiction to do so. Suk won't change his mind. He just wants to catch bad guys. Dong-soo walks out of the building with his bodyguard holding an umbrella above his head. He orders his car to take the other men and go home. He is not drunk and he will drive on his own the way Dong-soo is driving. While talking on the phone, suddenly a car bumps into his car from behind and he hangs up the driver's steps of the vehicle. The other man is not just anyone. He is a serial killer. Dong-soo doesn't want to notify his insurance company about the accident and walks away from the killer. Won't let him though. He surprises Dong-soo and stabs him twice. Dogs are not an easy target. A fight breaks out. Dong-soo eventually takes the knife out of the killer's hands and stabs him back. The killer gets in his car and runs over Dong-soo dogs and is transferred to a hospital, while his men go hunting and kill other members of the underworld to get their revenge. At the same time, the serial killer cleans his knife and takes care of his wound. He then walks through an outdoor facility, finds another target, an old man, and stabs him. Dongs wakes up and talks with his bodyguard. He has no idea who the attacker was, but he tells his guard to look for a white sedan. Tae-suk visits Dong-soo to get his statement, but Dong-soo gives him nothing. Tae-suk goes on to examine Dong-soo's car and makes the connection. A white sedan has bumped on his car from the back. It must be the same person. Tae-suk speaks with the police director and tells him to stop covering up for Dong-soo. He says they need to bring him in for an interrogation. After all, Dong-soo has seen the aggressor's face. He furthermore claims that he was right about the serial killer thing. He must be the serial killer. Who else would have the guts to attack the leader of a gang? The director doesn't want to hear it anymore and kicks him out of the office. A montage shows us the serial killer stopping by a gas station to grab a coffee from the vending machine. He spots a man and stabs him to death, while at the same time Dong-soo is describing the face of the killer to a woman. She is drawing a sketch and she gets it pretty close. Dong-soo gives the sketch to his bodyguard and orders him to find the attacker before the police does. While the killer is driving the truck, a man wakes up. He's been sleeping in the cabin of the truck. The killer eliminates him as well, but the knife drops out of the truck and rests on the side of the road. Tae-suk visits Dong-soo one more time to try and add some pressure on him, as well as appeal to his emotions. That killer is absolutely crazy and he must be stopped or more people will die. Dong-soo doesn't give a penny, but later on, his guard tells him that their businesses are not going well. Rumors have started around his name after he was attacked. Dong-soo decides that he has to get this killer and kill him to clear his name and gain back respect. His men have found the white Sudan and a knife he uses to kill people. Dong-soo invites Tae-suk to collaborate on the quest if Tae-suk finds him. First, he can bring him to justice, but if Dong-soo finds him, he will punish him as he wishes. They share all the information they have till now, and Dong-soo reveals his camera, which has been filming the whole time they were talking. Of course, he needs some collateral for working with a cop, and so the gangster and the cop are working together to catch the devil. The killer must be around 35 years old and he exclusively kills at night. Tae-suk shares the secret with his partner and another officer, and he tells them they will assist the gangsters find the killer, and then they will arrest him. Dong-soo tells Oh-sung, his guard, that they will let the cops help them, and once they find the killer, they will get rid of them. Dong-soo complicates the case a little bit more. He orders a hit on Shang-do and the assassin uses the serial killer's knife. Not only that, but he also leaves it right there for the cops to find. When the forensics examine it, they find genetic info on it that connects it to the previous murders at the gas station. Tae-suk is no dummy and can tell easily this was not the work of the killer. He knows it must have been Dong-soo who got rid of Shang-soo. Tae-suk visits Dong-soo and they have a fight, but he can't really do much about it since the mob boss has the recording of their deal. The news are reporting about Shang-do's death. The Sarai Millers watches the news report on the new murder and is confused, as he did not do that murder. A young man listens to him and looks at him frightened. The killer gets up and leaves on his way out. He taps the young man on the shoulder at Shang-do's funeral. The serial killer is sitting among the crowd and is keeping an eye on Dong-soo. He approaches Shang-do's bodyguard and gives him a note which reads, "Shang-do was killed by my knife, but not by me." His face points at Dong-soo. Dong-soo and Tae-suk are now taking a closer look at the white sedan and they find a stain of blood under the wheel. That could potentially lead to the killer's identity. Suddenly a group of men attacks them. They are Shang-do's men. A huge fight breaks out and the two of them manage to kick their asses later on. Tae-suk and his partners get a lead on the serial killer and they actually get to see him with their own eyes. They hunt him down along the streets, but he manages to invade them. They discover a place where the killer ate and drank. They start looking for the bottle he drank from and they visit a factory where the empty bottles get returned for recycling. They also bring the forensics team with them to try and get some new leads or clues. Dong-soo is forming some new partnerships trying to restore his business to its former glory at the police department. A lady that works in forensics hands Tae-suk a clue. She has found a new fingerprint on the white car of a man that was reported missing. Tae-suk visits the man's address and speaks to the landlady. She tells him that her tenant is a nice boy and never causes any trouble. He finds some pictures then compares them to the sketch and it is the same person. Tae-suk informs his partners and the mob boss and a citywide search for the man starts. After some time they stop for a break. As Dong-soo is waiting for Tae-suk to arrive, he sees a young student sitting in the rain. Feeling sorry for her, he gives her his umbrella. They share the killer's picture with everyone and they search the whole city for him. Unfortunately, no luck yet. The men are tired and they decide to take a break. Dong-soo is waiting for Tae-suk at a random meeting point. It's raining and a female student is waiting for the bus right next to Dong-soo. He gives her his umbrella to protect her from the rain till the bus gets there. Dong-soo, Tae-suk and their men are eating dinner. When the news broadcasting on the TV draw their attention, the student to whom Dong-soo gives his umbrella has been found dead. He gets angry and everyone gets up to search for the killer again. This time they spot him in a car, and a car chase takes place. Dong-soo and Oh-sung crush the killer and Tae-suk. At the same time, however, the killer escapes on foot through the dark alleys. They split up to chase him. The killer stabs Oh-sung, but then Dong-soo is able to track him down and serve him a good beating. Dong-soo takes him to a warehouse and tortures him. When he is ready to chop his head off his shoulders, Tae-suk crushes into the warehouse with his car and knocks Dong-soo out. He then formally arrests the killer and takes him to the police station. One more problem occurs when the police has not enough evidence to send the killer on death row. Tessa convinces Dong-soo to present himself as a witness at the court. Dong-soo will do it if Suk promises him to send him in the same jail with the killer. Dong-soo appears on the court and proves that the killer has indeed attacked him when they fought. He stabbed the killer on his left side chest. The policeman undressed the killer, and he has a wound right in the indicated area of his body. The killer ends up in jail alongside with Dong-soo, who will probably kill him before the execution of his death sentence. That was all for today's video. Don't forget to share your opinions with us about this video. Thank you all for watching. While you are here, go ahead and subscribe to our channel for our next video. Until next time, stay safe with your family.